Hi, everybody, and welcome to Reed's Reads Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out at the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Well, everybody, it's time to, of course, review the conclusion to the current storyline of Amazing Spider-Man 2081, aka 985, by Joe Kelly, John Romita Jr., and Todd Nauck, as we finally have the big battle with Norman Osborn and the Hobgoblin. Yes, we've been waiting for this for quite a while, and let's see how it all comes out. Well, let's get to the pros. First of all, the one thing is this actually, Joe Kelly does do a very good job talking about the legacy of Norman Osborn. I mean, it's really good here. I do love the talks about the family, the toxicity, everything that's happened with the legacy of the Green Goblin. I actually do like him being kind of talked by his memories and that the Green Goblin is still in Norman's head, even though, like they say, he's being cured of the sins or whatever, even though he has the goblin formula into it. But the fact is, it doesn't erase the memories. It doesn't erase what he's done. And that's actually a kind of good little piece. I do like the fact that that's what the Hobgoblin kind of came into this. He was basically saying himself is, I might have taken your legacy. I might have taken everything out of you. But the truth is, I'm the number one goblin now. And this all needs to end. So this actually is because Kingsley is this sinister. He is this evil. And it works really well. And I have to say the artwork by both Romita Jr. and by Todd Nauck is actually well. There is some great use of the fights between the Goblin Slayers and the different Spider-Mans. I do like how they use and Norman actually using his intellect because he is a scientist himself and some of the things he gone to use it because there is a great use of the powers about how they use the venom blast from Miles and especially with the vibranium suit to actually short out and destroy all the different parts of the Goblin Flyer, actually take it all down as once and how the system overloads. It's actually pretty good. In fact, it is a very Spider-Man move here and actually makes use of all the characters. Though there's still kind of not really used between everything between Ghost Spider and even Arena and some of the other characters aren't really used much. Miles kind of takes the spotlight here and it actually works pretty well too. And actually, believe it or not, the relationship between Norman and Miles isn't that off because really they don't know too much off outside of each other, so it's very good. The cons. Oh, hey, remember everything over at Rand Corp? Well, Aunt May's got to get over. She had here. We have an issue. We have Dr. O and everything. Can please talk to because everything else. It's like okay, that was there. These characters exist. That's interesting. That really didn't have part. Another thing is, yes, Norman gets back on the Goblin guy. He goes to battle the Hobgoblin. We've been waiting for years for a Goblin war between the original Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. However, this is Kingsley in the current Hobgoblin costume. This is Norman wearing the Spider-Man costume on the glider, doing everything too. Yes, they're fine. We've been to this with goblins at the gate, even though Norman wasn't in costume and Roderick was. It's actually a good battle. I actually did enjoy the fight. And the fact is, it does really work because, you are rooting for Norman to beat Kingsley. And he does come short of almost killing him, taking his sword and then basically saying, you will stay away. You can't do this anymore. And it is kind of Kingsley going like, okay, Norman, let's hope you don't regret this, but I knew you could do it. It was actually a really good scene just showing how sinister it's on. And it keeps with the current story arc that's actually going on with the different thing with King the Conqueror's other self that's actually behind everything with the Hobgoblin's plan. So it's pretty good. Of course, the revelation for Electro is, who of course is one of the females, is of course Emily Osborn. Honestly, I don't know why none of us figured this out. I mean, seriously, it was like the reveal makes sense, and it's kind of like, oh, geez, why didn't we think about that? It all makes sense. And then the fact that when she says, what about our grandchildren? At least we understand why Emily did this and everything that happened there. So it makes sense about why she wanted to take a Norman. They've spent so long bringing her back from the dead. All the fakes, everything that's happened between the miniseries by JMD Matias that was originally introduced by Dan Slott a couple years ago by Go Down Swinging, that Emily was still alive and had faked her death, and how she was hidden and everything, and the fact she's used all the different powers from Neil Adler, the original original Proto Goblin, which was taken care of that a couple years ago, to where she is now. It makes sense, but I think it's gotten the point is I'm not sure what they want to do with Emily, and I think Joe Kelly didn't find too bad of an idea to use her, but in the long run, it all backfired on her to, oh, let me make a deal with Roderick Kingsley, who's more screwed up than I am or Norman, and he's not insane. It's like, whoops, that was maybe not a good thing. Another thing is the ending. Peter, after everything happened with Hellgate, he somehow gets back to Earth, and oh, you did good, Norman. You did great. Yeah, I think I was about to do the throwing up emoji here myself here. It's actually a pretty good conclusion. I actually liked it, but also it's like, hey, Peter's back. Cool, you're back. Is he real? I am real. Oh, here, let me come give you a hug. If it wasn't for all that and a couple other things, this would be a higher grade. I will give it a B. I did feel like this was kind of satisfying with actually pushing things to the side. It's kind of bringing everything to conclusion with Norman as Spider-Man, everything that happened with the different Spider Society, as well as the reveal of Emily Osborn and everything with Hobgoblin will now be pushed over to the Spider-Man college, whatever miniseries you want to call it's coming up here with Norman and the Spider Society. So okay, we get it. You're gonna wrap this up one more issue about how Peter got back on Earth, how he's gonna be Spider-Man again, and then we can get to the Venom crossover. So it's not a bad ending. I give it a B. I actually did enjoy this issue. So that's really all I have to say. So you know what? A nice ending. I felt things were rushed or longer, but it's not too bad. And I have to say, Knack and Romita Jr.'s art really carries it because a lot of it is satisfying. So I'll give it that. And I have nothing more to say, anybody. If you want to check us out, go ahead and check us out at the Spider-Man Crawl Space on our Discord, website, YouTube, or Instagram, or other social medias platform. Definitely like and subscribe to this channel for our latest reviews as we get closer here to our next Spider-Man review, including I will actually be reviewing the entire Venom Spider-Man crossover here kicking off next month. So Painbot's back, everybody. And with all that, so for everybody else, please check us out, the SpiderManCrawlspace.com for everything. And I thank everybody for your support all these several times here and months here through these reviews and for the crawl space. So until then, everybody, I'll see you there.